This is a new episode of the Dancer Project, something different that I wanted to do. I wanted to bring two very notable figures on the platform. There's a difference between me and the way I operate versus other people, and the main difference is I'm a professional dude. I like having dope ass conversations, right? Besides all the trolling shit that both of y'all are very capable of doing. At the end of the day, behind that, there's some real men behind.
So how long you been with your girl?
7 years.
So what you was doing with old girl last week at the Fontainebleau?
Oh yeah, this guy. No,
I was just seeing.
I was just seeing what's up.
Look, this ain't no street. You know, you cheating. They can't call me no.
I was just seeing what was up. I was just seeing what was up.
Okay, well, I mean, I want to see how professional you.
She had a fat ass. I wanted to see what was up. Yeah. One thing.
I ain't gonna say no names or nothing, but we got the content. I sent it to you. Got it right.
Yeah, I got it.
You're talking about content, right? You do seem to have a lot of content. One of them, One of them ones that I'm very questionable about is this Nipsey Hussle video.
What about
I don't buy it.
Oh, you know I got a little thing I do. I just tell you put some money up.
How much money you want me to put up?
Whatever you want to put up. How many you want to see? Is like about 15 different text messages, probably like 10, 12 videos. How many of them you want to see?
I mean, I got 5 on it.
5 what?
5 bands.
Per video?
Nah, hell nah. I want to see if there's any truth to it. You believe it?
That ain't go question me trying to talk about nobody.
No, I done repeated it, so obviously I believe it. So nigga, I done went and repeated it, so obviously I believe it.
So here go the thing, right? This is real shit. Sometimes you gotta dissect certain things, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. I told you who the players were in the video, right? I said it's a dude from Louisiana, Nip, and his baby mama, right? You think after all these years, the baby mama wouldn't have stood up and said something if I was bullshit?
I don't know.
Come on, bro.
So when he said it, I said some shit about the character, trying to explain some shit, and my life been threatened.
What you mean? What you mean?
You know when I said Nip, but not Earmus. So I explained that, and my life was threatened. When this came out and said that, I sat back and said, man, they finna kill that. If he lying, they finna do something to that.
So let me ask you a question.
And ain't nobody done
What's
nothing.
your issue with, I don't got it. That's his sexual preference. Diddy up there wilding.
Yeah.
He finna let people know he was hitting Nip baby mama. You see it's coming out. Because you know Cassie and her was best friends. So when a playing like the way Diddy playing, this is real shit. My woman right there. My woman's right there.
Diddy everybody in the industry that we like.
If I tell my woman...
That I don't disagree with.
Listen,
you
think if Diddy told Cassie, make that happen with Laura, it wasn't going to happen? You heard
I think they have incredible power. I would doubt nothing that comes out of that camp over there.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
We learn more shit than we ever needed.
But my question to you is, because outside of his sexual preference, what problem did you have with Nip?
He a rolling 60s neighborhood crip, which is a detrimental organization to Black America.
Okay, now hold on. So will the kids listen to somebody that's not that, even though they're into that, to keep them from being that, or will they listen from the individual that's telling them not to be that, and you could do something different? Look at me.
That individual. That's only a small portion of our kids that's going into that. Most of our kids aren't going into that. Maybe in LA, in those small LA, Chicago, but outside of those two entities, our kids aren't automatically
rolling
going into that.
60s deep as a mother in Texas.
But our kids, but I would have never got exposed to it if I didn't never go to the boys' home. I would have never known nothing about rolling 60s had I never went to the boys' home.
Where was it located?
In the rural area.
Of Texas, right?
Yeah, of Texas.
Okay, so what I'm saying is...
My son don't know nothing about rolling 60s.
So is it Nipsey's fault that he come up the way he come up?
I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just know before Nipsey died, I seen him slapping a guy that's trying to record him and his girl, which you a celebrity. I heard him say, I'm a Crip before I'm anything. Not that I'm a man, not that I'm a father. I heard him say I'm a Crip before anything. So once I started listening to him, I heard a song where he say, I'm gonna turn all these into lesbians. Now,
I didn't hear that song.
Now it's on.
So at that point, you became an advocate for women.
I don't give a fuck about women.
Yeah, because
I don't.
the same women you say you
no. Let me finish. You asked me about Nip. He said I'm gonna turn all these, and I'm saying I got a daughter. So when I see that, I don't like gang members. Gang members don't do a motherfucking thing for black people, but kill other black people. During the police shooting, the gang members ain't rising up like that daddy did to go kill nothing. When it's time to, when the Mexicans do something to us, the same. So I'm saying these gang members. He just so happened to be one of them gang members. So when I go to his funeral, I find out why are people in my city celebrating this. I ain't never heard his songs or nothing. Don't know nothing about this.
Stop right there. I was one to say, and Biggie Smalls said it, you nobody till somebody kills you. Because Nip dropped his album 2019, right?
Yeah.
No, 2018.
Yeah.
He died 2019, right? So that first year, the album did 50, 60,000 copies, okay? Even when he got killed, it still took another year after the death for it to reach platinum. If the boom, the persona that we saw from the world was real, it wasn't just no BS, that thing would have been platinum overnight.
So when I go to the funeral, I'm sitting and I'm listening because I'm here to find out who is this Nip guy. So I don't hear nobody really say Nipsey. I hear Earmiss. So when Lauren London's son got up there and said, last night, Earmiss came to me in a dream and he was in heaven. And he said, what's up, killer? So when this kid gave this detailed description of Earmiss, homie, it blew my mind. I put the blunt out and
Well, he was your father.
I started paying attention. So then Lauren London spoke about him. So I said, nah, homie, Nipsey was a character like the WWE. This guy was intelligent. And then I got to talk to Big Syke after the funeral. Big Syke gave me a ride back to the house. Big Syke said Nip came up to him when he was about 11 years old and said, big homie, why you gangbang? And he said, I gangbang because I was born to. He said Nip told him at 11, he don't have the name Nip yet, big homie, when I grow up, I'm gonna change the hood. Kid grew up to change the hood. So I fell in love with Earmiss.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So that's so I'm painting a picture. These rappers ain't who we think they are.
Yeah.
If I'm looking from afar, I'm thinking Nip is a hardcore neighborhood roller, but nigga, this nigga was a compassionate guy. So I'm trying to show the kids, yeah, what we see in these personas, but it's a flip side of a coin to these.
Well, do you think Denzel's a snitch?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Well, he played one in American Gangster.
I don't think that, but
I'm saying he played one in American Gangster. So why can't
No.
They rap persona.
Because our kids think these are the personas. I f with kids. I ain't talking to grown
So
folk.
what kids you talking about? You talking about the
What
kids?
we
in the
know
group homes?
what actors.
I don't know what kids you talking about. I'm talking about the kids I know.
My son,
I don't know your son. I'm talking about the kids in my neighborhood.
But what do your son think?
My son know not to think, because he been taught all that's bullshit on TV.
So is it on the rappers or is it on the parents?
It's on the parents.
So question I have for you with this same thing. You also are a father. And
Hell
when you hear messages,
I'm a daddy too.
Yeah, when you hear
father just biological shot you out. Daddy will take care of you.
Facts. Now, when you talk about being a father, being a daddy, right, and you hear a message like Charleston's, do you agree with his message, knowing that you don't want that for the kids?
No, I'm told even he know that. I'm told. I tell the kids to go to police academy, goddamn military school, trade school. I tell them gang banging is the dumbest, stupidest thing I could have ever done. I don't regret it because it got me to where I'm at today, right? I went through what I went through to understand it. But I don't think gang banging is healthy for nobody in no shape, form, or fashion at all. All the cap that is there to protect the community, that ain't what it's there for, because if we even look at what we do, majority gangs claim a park, right? Who the park was created for?
The kids.
Okay, now if you got a bunch of grown dudes in the park who done went across the way and put some work in 2 nights before, where they know where to come retaliate at.
Yeah.
So now you got a bunch of grown cats bringing the problem to the park, and now we got little you know, little Eddie hit over here, 9 years old, because he in the sandbox, right? So everything that they do is really a violation, but I guess what? Majority of these gangs, the rules were started by somebody with an 8th grade education. This is just what's real, and it's selective politicking all the way through. What's wrong for him was right for him because he got the bag. What's right for him is wrong for him because who his uncle is. So it ain't really no structure. It ain't nothing about it. I didn't really start growing in the mind until I left the hood and started to see the world.
But what got me here, he was killed by his own kind.
Well, Boosie called that. Boosie told everybody years ago.
He was killed by his own kind. And it ain't been no retribution or retaliation or no ill will toward the kind that killed him.
Well, how could it be when that's the nature of their block? They got a saying over there.
Yeah,